Alrighty, so this tutorial is going to cover basically really roughly intro to Blender as well as retopologing your 3D scan that we did in class. Okay, so you're going to open up Blender, click on this cube here. We're just going to hit delete or you can hit X. Either way, it'll work. If it does come up with something like X, it'll say delete. Just hit OK. All right. What we want to do is we just want to import the OBJ. So I'm just going to go ahead and import mine. We do File, Import. We're going to go to Wavefront OBJ. And I put them right on the desktop. And I'm just going to go ahead and do mine. And you're going to see it. Give it a second. I'm going to pause it while it loads in. It's pretty high poly, so it takes a second. So it is loaded in. If I scroll out, you can see it's over here. It's way off base. So what we need to do is move it around. So navigation inside of Blender is like so. You hold the middle mouse button and that will rotate. If you hold Shift and click the middle mouse button, it will do that. And then you can just use the scroll to zoom in and out. Okay, so it's going to go like this. Now, to do your basic transforms, which are move, rotate, and scale, it's not M for move. It is actually G for grab. So I'm going to hit G. And then if I hold Shift, I'm sorry, don't hold Shift. And if we middle mouse button click, it'll keep it on a plane. But see, it keeps it. You got to stay with that plane. So I'm just going to go like this and pull that over. And then just left click. If you do something, and this goes for anything, if I move it and I don't like it, if you right click, it goes back to where it was. You could also click on these, and that should, hang on. That should give me, I'm on layout, right? Should give you the manipulator, but I don't see it. All right, well, never mind then. Yeah, anyway, we're going to put it there. I'm just going to rotate it up, and you can see I got it roughly on origin. But that's why the manipulator is over there. That's why I couldn't see it because it's offset. So it'd be good if the manipulator was over here. So to do that, you go to Object and then go Set Origin, and then we set origin to center of mass. Let's do volume, and that will put it roughly in the center of the basically the bounding box. That'll be a little bit better. Okay, so I've moved it over. Now we got it centered. It's a little bit easier to work with. And like I said, you can use these too. So there's rotate and there's scale. So if you're used to Maya, like I am, this might make a little more sense. Okay, next thing I need to do is rotate. So to rotate is R, which is nice. So if you hit R, it'll let you rotate. Now, it rotates just based off your camera. So you probably can't tell, but this is just rotating off the current position that I'm in. Now we can try to hold that middle mouse button click to try and do it across the axis that we want. It's a little bit hard to do it here. So I'm gonna hit right click to undo it. What you do is you hit R, and I want you to notice this too. If you look down on the bottom of the screen, you'll see at the let me undo this. Down here, you'll see the options. So I'm gonna hit R, and then I want to choose the axis that I want to rotate around. In this case, Z is up and down inside of Blender. So I'm gonna hit Shift Z, and then that will rotate it like this. So I'm just going to, I was thinking that was the way I wanted to rotate it, like that. I actually need to rotate it on Y actually. So we're gonna hit R, then Shift Y, and then I'm just gonna kind of get it up and click, just left click when you're done. All right, now I'm gonna hold Alt as I rotate, and that will snap to the different points of view. You can also use, I believe it's the number keys. Yeah, not your numbers up on the top, but on the right-hand side, which is kind of a weird way to do it. But I like to just do it this way because I accidentally do it all the time because I'm used to doing Maya. So I need to rotate it this way. So if you can look, it's not going to be Y and Z, right? Because I got to rotate this way. So it's going to be X. So I'm going to hit R, then I'll hit Shift X. And then I'm just going to try, what I'm going to do is look at the bottom platform and try to make that as straight as I can. Like that. Okay. Then I'm going to hold my middle mouse button. I'm going to hold Alt, look from the front. You can see it's a little off this way. So this time it's going to be Y because those are the two axes I can't see. So I'll hit R and Shift Y. And I'm just going to rotate. The nice thing is that the farther out you go, right, the more fidelity you have, which is kind of like making the manipulator bigger and smaller inside of Maya. Okay. Now let's just see. That should be pretty straight. It should probably, let's do it this way too, because you see it's a little off center this way. So again, this time it is Z. So I'm going to hit R, then Shift Z. And I'm just going to try and make it as straight as possible that way. Good. Okay. Yay. Now we've got the character more or less straight. Now what I want to do is I need to remove this bottom platform part, as well as retopologize the model. So what we'll do first is just get rid of this. Just be aware that if we go up here, we can actually see it. Where are you? I can click on wireframe and you can actually see it's pretty dense. But while we are doing the wireframe, while it's still like not good topology, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and just remove this part. Okay, so I'm gonna go to sculpting because sculpting has this already built into it. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hold Alt and Shift so that I'm looking at it from a straightforward, and I want to cut this piece off. There's actually a tool down here that you can select, and it is where are you? Is it this one? Box trim. Trims the mesh within the boxes. Yeah, it's this one here, I think. Click on that. And then we're just going to click and drag and remove that piece. And it might take a second. I'm going to pause it while it does it. That legit took minutes for it to process. So, but the nice thing is, you see, is that it is indeed gone. However, there are little bits and stuff here, as well as some other, I guess that's not really, I don't know. Yeah, it's like, see how there's like little floating parts that you may not want in your model, which I would assume that you do not want on your model. So for that, we're going to have to remove those, not in this sculpting section. So we'll go back to, I think it's modeling. There we go. We'll scroll out. And then what we are going to do is mesh separate by loose parts. And what that'll do is it'll take all the parts and separate them out. So you may have noticed before there was one that said cone, and then there were all these well, there was only one before. Now there's a bunch of pieces, and each one of those represents one of these nublets. So I have to select on right now. So I'm just going to click on the model. Actually, I think we're in, yeah, we are in a component mode. So I'm going to hit Tab to go into object mode. I'm going to select this one. Actually, what we're going to do is, okay, so this one's the original one. The other ones are not. So I'm going to click and drag over the whole area. Then I'm going to shift click on this guy to unselect him. And you can see basically it has all the bits. We don't need this actually. Let's can I shift click that? No. Let's do this again. Control click. We're going to unselect him, and then I somehow selected the camera. I don't think the camera will get deleted anyway. So anyway, we'll grab all those bits. So you see all the bits are gone here. Apparently also the light. And then we'll hit like that. Unselect him. See, it's not. Well, we'll just do it this way. I'm just going to grab all the bits this way. We're going to grab all in here, and then we'll just hit delete. Delete. There we go. And now all those extra little nublets are now gone, right? So yay, we more or less have a clean model here, much better. Okay, and it's more or less what it was in the thing, and you can even, I just think it's cool because you actually see all the texture and stuff of the actual clay. Okay, so that was in modeling. We're actually not going to use modeling. We're going to do most of this inside of the sculpting. Okay, so inside of sculpting here, we can start sculpting it, and then eventually we can go through and retopologize it. But for now, let's just leave. I'm going to call this video good, and then the next one what we'll do is we'll just try to clean this up, and I'll show you some basic Dynamesh sculpting.